Sup gamers, welcome back to another Story Up review here at Story Up Games, where story reigns. Today we are tackling episode 2 of The Walking Dead: A New Frontier. So if you caught part 1, we don't really have to get into the gameplay. It's all the same with the Telltale. It's the, the decision tree and the dialogue options and all that. So we know that. So we're actually just going to talk about episode 2 and the story itself and the way the characters are interacting with each other. And so far, I'm really quite impressed with the story. It is kind of refreshing to have a brand new take with these brand new characters. Javi and his family are interesting. I'm already connected to them, and it's nice to have a fresh start, because with Javi, I find I'm making some more aggressive decisions I wouldn't normally make, or that I hadn't made in the past with Clementine, for example, as my protagonist. And I find that this is in large part due to how I'm reeling after the end of episode 1 with Javi. So a lot of my decisions are being affected by the way I felt at the end of that episode, and I'm doing some things that I'm really surprised about. So kudos to Telltale for putting me in those situations. But I also find that with Clementine around, I am kind of leaning toward siding with her on certain situations. So we'll find out how the game progresses, if that's the right call. But I think it's cool that Clementine coming back from past games is affecting my decision making in this totally fresh story. Now, with all that said, it does seem pretty apparent that your choices in season 2 really didn't matter at all. This is a completely fresh story, and at the same time, I'm okay with that. I've moved on, I've accepted it, and I'm having a good time with Javi going through the story. Now, I will say my biggest gripe with the episode is that it's very short. It was only 1 hour, maybe just over, and I don't think that this was long enough to justify cutting it in half, because that's what Telltale did. Is they said they're splitting the first episode into 2. That's why this one was called The Ties That Bind Part 2, and the last one was Part 1. Now, Part 1 was an hour and a half. This was an hour and a bit. I don't think it was too long for one episode, and I'm a little worried we're about to get gypped out of a major episode, because it seems like there's only going to be the typical 5, so unless they surprise me, I am starting to feel a little ripped off. But I had a great time playing episode 2, and I will say that there's a couple big reveals that are really awesome and guiding the story in a cool direction. So I feel confident that this is going to be a good season. I just wish that this was all one episode, because the fact that they broke it into 2, makes me feel like we're missing out on some content. But I guess we'll see how long these last 3 episodes turn out to be. And I will add one more note about the gameplay in this particular episode. There was 2 exploratory parts, and there were 2 quick time events. 2, I think, that I can remember. But I really appreciate the ways that Telltale tries to change up the quick time events. Yes, it is just push X now or push square now, but Telltale does craft them in a couple different ways, to keep you a little bit more entertained, and I appreciate that they tried, because that's what you have to do in these games, is quick time events and decision making. So I appreciate that they do try to innovate a little bit, and this episode proved that. There was a couple quick, fast, tight quick time events, which is what they're supposed to be, right? So there was a couple that were really fun, actually really fun to play. And that's really all I have to say about this 1 hour long episode. It was a little bit short, but I am looking forward to where the story's going. I think Javi is an interesting protagonist, and I like being able to mold a new character. I think that the inclusion of Clementine in this game is still valuable, and she's actually affecting the way I'm playing, so that's cool. And the other characters, the supporting roles, the family, I'm already feeling connected to them. So I think that Telltale has done another good job of connecting us with their characters. That's it for me here at Story Up Games. We'll be back again soon with another story to review. So like I said in the last review, I do think that episode 2 is still worth your time, especially this one's only an hour. We'll have to see how the rest of the season goes. I might not do another Walking Dead one until the very last episode, but we'll see. If something really crazy happens, I just might have to talk about it. Let me know in the comments section what you thought about this episode, if you thought it was too short, if you're worried about getting gypped like I am out of a really meaty episode. And as always, like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel so you know when we go live, and I will catch you on another time.